Before I introduce our esteemed guest, let me tell you a story of me on the YouTube homepage. I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel, but the games I love are all old games. The Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops, all of those. And I thought that nobody really cared about these games anymore in 2024. Like it's just kind of a thing of the past, right? So I'd always reason myself out of making a YouTube channel because you see guys like Woody's Gamertag, and he got famous while these games were popular. So that was my excuse. And then you see someone like Jay Schlatt, who was already famous before he made the weekly slap. So there's not that many people making videos on these on these old Call of Duties at the time. And it's hard to just like keep up with a schedule. You're busy with work, life, and other commitments. However, I continued my life as a YouTube consumer as always. It's my comfort food after a long day. And one day on my suggested video page, I saw a YouTube commentary about the old Call of Duties and nostalgia, and it was from a small creator at the time, LoadedBuggy. And at the time, he might have had about 200 subs. I clicked on one of his videos, and I loved the stuff, could relate to it immediately, subbed, kept watching, and saw him grow and grow and grow, eventually surpassing 1,000, then 2,000 subs. And that was kind of like what I thought was missing on YouTube. So I decided then and there to contribute, share my spin on it as well. And it was kind of like my tipping point. Like now's the time, and the rest is history. But I don't know if I would have ever started if it weren't for this man. So with that, I'd like to welcome LoadedBuggy to this channel. So LoadedBuggy, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man, and thank you so much for that introduction. That was gave me some chills, gave me the feels.
Yeah. That's what our channels are for. The nostalgia hits out there. Quick question: what did you have for breakfast this morning?
I had a vanilla bean scone and a cup of black coffee. It was not a balanced breakfast, but it sure was delicious.
It sounds like it gets the job done. So we'll get right into the questions. So tell us a little bit about your YouTube story. What, I guess, did you have a channel before this? What motivated you to start and do this kind of thing?
Yeah, well, much like you, I have been a YouTube consumer since like 2007, 2008 or so. And I would say about 6-7 years ago, I created a group channel, is what I'll call it, with my brother and another friend. And we made some variety videos ranging from cooking type videos to gaming to podcasting, and it really just kind of went nowhere. But I worked my butt off on that channel for about 2 years. Then I went on a hiatus for a couple months and created my own YouTube channel and started making just some general Let's Play stuff, just Let's Plays of Morrowind. I did a little Let's Play with my wife at one point, playing The Sims 4. And although that was fun, I wasn't really necessarily passionate about the type of videos that I was making, so I went on another hiatus, another sabbatical, if you will. And then 6 months down the road, I was like, man, I'm really getting that creative itch, and I want to start creating videos again, but where do I go with this? So I was just thinking, the things that I fell in love with on YouTube, the types of videos that people were making back at the time were YouTube Call of Duty commentaries. And to me, that just felt like the perfect point to, just jump back into the YouTube game. It's something that is not that difficult to make. It's not complex, but I can really showcase who I am as a person and showcase my creativity, at least on the commentary side of it. So I really fell in love with the commentaries, and I think I'm 3-4 months deep now, and I am loving every step of it.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear. I've definitely seen you growing fast, and it was a motivator to me, and it looks like a lot of other people have kind of picked this back up. So I'd like to think, you're one of the first people to pick back up the COD commentary scene, because let's be honest, a lot of those guys don't upload too much. The weekly slap is more like the semi-monthly slap.
If that.
Yeah, exactly. So what have you liked and not liked about your YouTube journey so far? We'll start with what have you liked about it?
Well, I've loved the engagement with the community. I've loved, creating a pool of people from all different areas and places in the world, different backgrounds. But we have one thing in common, and it's the love for these old Call of Duties. And we seem to all find our way together in one way, shape, or form, whether it's on my channel, your channel, or somebody else's channel. We all have something in common. And being able to share that passion with other people has been a real positive for me, and something that I've really enjoyed about the journey so far.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about the good old days and those video games, but something with the Call of Duties just of now versus back then, it's so different. It's so almost like it's become so much of a business that it's like the creativity aspect of it is gone in a way.
Yeah, I totally agree. I was actually just thinking about this the other day that the old Call of Duties, whenever at least I started playing back in COD 4, every new Call of Duty that came out, there was always some level of innovation that they were trying to push forward. They were trying to push the genre forward and the series forward. And then at a certain point, it just kind of stopped, and it became all about the microtransactions, and that's kind of
Yeah.
where they lost me.
Yeah, no, same here. It's just that when you can put like 80 different attachments on your gun,
Yeah.
that's not what we need. That's just confusing me. And those menus, it used to be like three options, like campaign, multiplayer, and then I don't know, zombies or something. But now it's just I don't know. I'm too stupid for this stuff.
I'm right there with you, and usually the 3 of the 10 options you have lead you back to the store in some way, so that's
Yeah,
always
yeah.
fun.
Well, you got to buy stuff. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So, what have you not liked about YouTube so far?
I would say that really the only thing that has kind of been a negative for me has been the pressure I think that I put on myself and the fixation I have on the numbers are probably the things that I tend to be hard on myself regarding because the whole hobby of YouTube is all about the creativity aspect of it for me. But then I started to see the numbers increase, and I kept on opening up YouTube Studio and making sure that the arrow was green and pointing up, that things were trending upward. And whenever I would have a video that didn't quite do as good as a previous video, I'd be like, huh, what did I do wrong here? And I would study it. And I kind of got to a point where I was doing that, I'll say a little bit too much. And that was kind of a negative for me because I wanted to make sure that I maintained my creativity aspect and just the focal point on creativity. And I'm starting to loosen up a bit on that, but it definitely was a pain point for me when I'm thinking of the progression of my YouTube channel and how this thing is unfolded.
Yeah, I relate to that. Honestly, I've unhealthy amount of checking for the YouTube Studio sometimes, and it's just like it doesn't change anything. I mean, I use it for like looking at comments for the most part, but I've toyed around with the idea of deleting it because man, it's easy to get carried away in like the pressure of oh, did this video do well or that one? But at the end of the day, I feel like you just gotta post what we want to post, and that's kind of what got us here in the first place. So might as well keep going,
I
right?
totally agree with that.
For me, it's there's just like haters. Something I've seen them on your channel too. It's like why do we have haters? I mean, what we're doing is not like that controversial. I feel like, but they're there. I don't know why.
Yeah, some people are just sad or upset with their life or circumstances, or just angry people in general, and they want to share that anger and frustration with somebody else. And it doesn't make sense, but it sure is there.
Yeah, we will. We'll keep making videos, haters.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, take that. So do you miss the good old days? And if so, why?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I miss the good old days to a certain degree, not to the point where I want to go back, because I truly am really, really happy with where I am at this point in my life, having a wife and 2 amazing kids. So I'm really, really happy with how my life has unfolded. But in certain aspects, I do miss the good old days, especially with gaming and entertainment in general, because I do think that especially the gaming industry, because it's such a profitable industry, has moved so far away from the fun of the game in terms of AAA studios anyway, have moved far from it's making a game because it's fun, enjoyable for the consumer, and more about the money aspect of it, which is why I think I tend to go back to all these old Call of Duties or replay the same old Assassin's Creeds or Minecraft or just things I can trust. And so I would say my answer is kind of 50-50. I'm happy with where my life is, but in terms of my entertainment life, I sure wish I could go back.
Yeah, I got that. That kind of reminds me of another question I wanted to ask you. You mentioned you have a wife and kids, and I know one of my more, I'd say, viral videos was kind of about dating, and mixed responses there. Yeah, but I do feel like many gentlemen out there have the goal of finding that special person and that person to build a life with, have a family with, and you're someone who's accomplished this in your life. So maybe if you have any advice for the fellas out there about finding the right person.
It's always tricky because there are so many people and there's so many different types of people that you will encounter in your life, and just because you have a physical attraction with someone doesn't mean that there's going to be anything there on an emotional level. So I think, without getting too deep with it, I think the biggest thing is to be patient and to not try to force relationships to happen. If you find someone that you like and they like you, just kind of let things unfold naturally, whether that be a friendship or it turns into something more romantic. I think that's really where it starts, because at least with me and my wife, of course, there was physical attraction there, and I was drawn to her. But at the end of the day, it took quite some time for us to kind of be on the same level where we were interested in each other emotionally and wanted to form a relationship. It took actually a few years of us knowing each other. So I would say that patience is a virtue, especially in this day and age with the dating scene being so chaotic and being so app-centric. Definitely focus on making connections in real life. Mutual friends is usually a safe bet, but patience, I think, is a virtue.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of pressure to, find someone, settle down. I think as you go through your 20s, I think you're 28, 27. I'm saying
28,
maybe
yep.
28. Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of your friends, they start getting married, start settling down, and it's easy to like feel the pressure. But there is time. Although it is important to put yourself out there, and I think try. That was kind of what I talked about in my videos. So yeah, well, I guess another question just about YouTube. What are your future plans with growing your channel and I guess the COD commentary community as we bring it back?
I mean, I can definitely see myself doing more of these, especially with you. I mean, I know we've kind of formed a friendship early on in our YouTube careers here. So definitely more of community building. I think there's a lot of people out there that have a gift of storytelling or communication, and they could do really, really well in this commentary scene. So I would love to see the community hit a boom once again like it was back in 2011, 2012. So definitely trying to do my part to bring attention to this format once again. But in terms of my own personal channel, I really enjoy live streaming. I hope to be able to increase the amount of days or hours that I can live stream, because I really enjoy the direct communication that you can have with the community during live streams. And then, of course, increasing the amount of uploads or just the quality of content, however that may be. However it unfolds, it's kind of tricky with the commentary scene. There's not really much you can do besides put gameplay in the background and talk about it, but there's always little tweaks that I can make to improve the quality of my content or my thumbnails and stuff. So it's always little details that I'm looking at in terms of my videos and live streaming on how I can make them just a smidge better and more consumer friendly, more enjoyable for the average viewer. So it's an interesting process to see how I can improve those things.
Yeah, I'd say there's so many directions we can take this in. Like I do love COD commentaries, and I will never not have that on my channel. But sometimes you do think about like, oh, like I never want to do clickbaity stuff. I'll say that, but I just like trying different things, like video essays, deep dives on topics. Like there's so many cool directions we can take this, and I don't know, I'm excited. I've been loving a return to YouTube. So kind of echoing what you said. I mean, if you're out there. I would just start, just pop the microphone on and start talking and share stories, and I think you'll get a lot out of the process, and you never know who you'll like inspire to start this. I mean, the next great Call of Duty commentator could be watching this right now and start and just blow up to like 100,000 subs. You never know.
Absolutely.
You really don't.
I agree. And if you're out there and you're wanting to make videos like this, definitely do it. And I'll say for myself, plug yourself in my comments. If you come to one of my videos and you've made a commentary, plug yourself, because I will be watching out for you guys, because I want to see how the community grows and how we can boom, and I want to do my part, and I will be watching your videos and plugging you where I can.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think we're all in this together. Let's grow this thing together. So without that, I don't think I have anything else. Thanks for coming on. If you're watching this to the end, make sure to give LoadedBuggy a subscribe and some like. He's got some really great content. Very, very awesome Call of Duty commentator. So thanks for joining today.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me on your channel, Wyler, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely. All right, peace out, everyone.
Bye.